Hello, my friends. Today is July the 7th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birthday or birth date. I do psychic readings, I do healing work. Been doing it for nearly 40 years. I do a lot of internet readings, and I also do a lot of different modalities of healing work at my office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Check out my credits. Today is a four-card pull to cover the year to follow. It's a lens card to look at the year. It's a challenge you might face this year. It's an action you can take to stay in balance, and it's an outcome or synopsis. This is approximately 6 to 10 minutes long. Bear with me. So the lens card is Thanatos, and Thanatos says those who face Thanatos go deeply into the understanding of death, and death as a process and a part of being alive. From the moment that we're born, something is dying. From the moment that we start, something is letting go and surrendering. There is no new beginning without something dying to take it to let it take its place. In essence, as we face the death in our life, changes of phases, changes of decisions that shape our life, the loss of friends and family and lovers, the death of situations that we yearned for, countless deaths that we go throughout our lives. The more do we come to understand what's really important to us, and the more do we come to understand, and the more do we have compassion for ourselves and for others who undergo death, and understand that on a very large level. It takes, a lot of times people who understand this, are people who are helping people to die, hospice workers and doctors and those who are trying to keep people alive, but they're often helping people to die, to end something, to release something, to surrender to something that no longer works for them and needs to be replaced or needs to be let go of, and and then we need to go on with our lives so we can still keep moving until the final death, which is not the final death. And I think that's even a bigger understanding in this card. It's not the final death. And death is not the death. It's an ongoing process of surrendering and letting go and becoming the next thing. And I think those people who understand that are much more at peace with the cycles of life, with the cycle of life, are much more at peace with the sense of what could be coming next. They're much more at peace with letting go and surrendering into the present moments. And that brings more peace and more trust and more openness. But it takes, often some kind of really powerful moment where something or someone dies who is very important to us, and it shakes up our world, and it makes us examine who we are, and what we are, and what we believe, and how we live, and how we go through the process of letting go and surrendering and creating again. So this is your particular challenge, is the Hermit. The challenge is to look at yourself. The challenge is to be quiet. The challenge is to go into yourself and really look at old framings of your mind, and look at old connections that you've never looked at, and understand deeper what you're afraid of, why you're afraid to go forward. The Hermit or the Crone, they are the ones that say, shut yourself off from society, shut yourself off from the noise, shut yourself off from all the input that comes from outside of yourself, and go listen to yourself. Go deeply listen to yourself, and that's your challenge, to listen deeply to yourself. This option is, take yourself and go out into the middle of the woods, go out into the middle of nature, sever your ties for a while with everything that is, become naked to nature, naked to yourself, naked to the world. Listen deeply to yourself, hear those voices that need to be heard inside of you, and do the healing work and the letting go work and the surrender work and the grief work that you need to find yourself. Because right now, I think on some level you feel lost amidst some kind of loss. You feel lost. And the only way you're going to find yourself is to listen to yourself. And you can't just add on more noise and add on more distractions and add on more, pressures to become something to just take you away from becoming authentic and being true to yourself. So that's really your challenge. And here's the action to take. Retreat. Prairie dog. Go into your hole. Prairie dog sits at the edge of the hole looking out for danger, and at the very least little sign of danger, it runs down into its hole. That's retreat. That's safety. That's security. That's comfort. That's food. That's sleep. That's exercise. That's whatever is in that retreat for you. It's the same that the hermit does. You go off into the woods and find your cave and build your fire, and you live off the land, on some level, and you find what really nourishes you and what you really need and what's really important to you. And that's what the same as the prairie dog is saying. Go into your retreat. Go into your cave. Go into your hole and listen to yourself. Become deeply immersed in your own soul this year and listen deeply to what needs to change, what has to change, and how you can go about surrendering to it, because you can't change it. You can't change death. You can't alter death. You can't deny death. You can't stay away from death. It's part of everything that is on this planet. It's part of everything, maybe consciousness of the world. I mean, the super consciousness lives on, I believe, and lives on and on and on, and connects us to be able to do this over and over and over again, many lives, or at least one life, learning as much as we can. But I think it's many lives. I believe it's many lives that we come through to learn as much about of ourselves and to learn as much compassion as we can for our fellow beings who are walking here, so we can understand that we are them and they are us, and we are all part of this big happy drama that we face. And final card, I think this is a part of your path to enlightenment, a part of your path to peace. You have to learn to surrender and let go and understand it's just part of the process, and to not take it personally and to not take it as profoundly debilitating as it might feel. But you have to face it, and you have to grieve, and you have to let go, and you have to surrender, and you have to, I think, go in and listen to yourself to say, well, now what's really important? What is really important to me when I lose something that is very heartfelt and connected and dear to me? Whatever or whoever or however that might be, go into your prairie dog hole and be by yourself for a while and listen deeply to your inner self and learn how to let go and surrender to the small deaths, the bigger deaths, and then maybe finally even to the biggest death that you think you can occur, the one of this body. It takes a lot to prepare ourselves and own this process and not fear it. And I think that's ultimately, where you will go to this year on some kind of longer journey, and where you will teach from. You will help others to do the same. Maybe you'll be a doula, one who helps others to pass over into their next phase of being. That's the ultimate, I think, kind of energy around this. When you can help others to let go and surrender and move through change and loss, then what better work is there? Ahom Mitakuye Oyasin.